Guten Morgen. Hello, my name is Jane Beamers and I am a woman of Dutch heritage, and I am speaking to you from the traditional territory of the Kwantlen people, where I have spent most of my life. I would also like to mention that I spend a lot of my time on the Stolo territory studying at the University of the Fraser Valley. I study psychology and the visual arts there, and I'm incredibly blessed to be able to study. This land is resident to endlessly tall trees, unshakably strong west coast mountains, and is home to birds who echo a new song every spring. It's a beautiful land. My chosen field of psychology would not be the same if it were not for insight given by Indigenous speakers, just like Dr. Jolie Saskamoose, who last month led an event for developing strength-based trauma in informed practices in psychology. It was an incredible presentation, and learning that Indigenous perspective is super important for counselors across the world, but especially in Canada, where growing in Indigenous support is super important right now, and even understanding other cultures is always super important, especially as a counselor. In addition, Dr. Carly Fellner, whose names are Good-Hearted Women and Sweet Pine Women, and whose talk on Indigenous narratives in terms of trauma I look forward to seeing next week. These are incredible women in psychology, and they give their unique perspective and also the Indigenous perspective as a whole, and that's incredible. The Kwantlen people and I share a home in a part of the world that covers the ground in a blanket of cherry trees this spring, and it's beautiful. Where hummingbirds zip from flower to flower, and where the people put intention and commitment into growing and nurturing the flowers that come up every spring. The Pacific Coast Native culture has a tale about the hummingbird. It says that the hummingbird, as it zips from flower to flower, used to be attached and was the petals of a flower, and it was attached to the ground through its roots and through its stem. It would never leave until Raven came across this beautiful flower one day and decided that there was a unique joy that the flower brought to the people around, and decided to create it into a bird. So Raven transformed this beautiful flower into the hummingbird, and the reason that the hummingbird flies quickly every spring is to give thanks and to tell the other flowers thank you for being so beautiful and for coming every spring. And so, like the hummingbird, I thank you for watching and for acknowledging this beautiful land of the Kwantlen and Stolo people with me.